Here at the Web 2.0 Summit, and I'm here with the founder of TrialPay. So what does TrialPay do?
So what we do is we put offers around transactions. So if you think about paying for something, most people will never pay. So think about digital goods in particular. There might be 100 million people playing some Facebook game right now, and they don't want to pay for virtual fish or virtual dolphins or virtual hats. But they might be willing at 5 o'clock to go buy a pizza from Domino's or order something at Gap or switch their insurance to Geico or sign up for Netflix. And all of those companies will pay to acquire a customer. So if you think about what AdSense did for regular websites, content-based websites, they put ads around content-based websites. We put advertising, if you think about it that way, for a whole selection of transactional websites. So Zynga is one of our clients, or Fandango is one of our clients. You go to Fandango, most people won't pay for a ticket when they go to Fandango. They go there to check showtimes, but they will perhaps sign up for Netflix, and Netflix wants to reach people that are looking to buy a movie ticket at Fandango. And Netflix will pay enough money to actually give you a ticket at Fandango for free. So part of what we do is we put offers before transactions happen, but on transactional sites. We also we do offers after transactions as well. So if you just bought a booklet of photos at Shutterfly, that unoccupied white space at the end of the Shutterfly transaction, it's very valuable. Who wants to reach somebody who's female, who's 45, who just spent $100 at Shutterfly? Well, Sephora does. So Sephora might give away a $10 gift certificate to anybody who fits that description, who spent over that amount of money at Shutterfly. So we do stuff like that. So we'll put relevant offers targeted to transactional sites. So it's a wordful,
Yep.
But that's what we do.
So that it's really about capturing someone who you know who's interested in a certain thing and giving them an opportunity to do something. And the value proposition for the site itself is that it's unoccupied inventory
Right.
Online. And it's oriented around the specific, again, interest that's been demonstrated by them arriving at a specific transaction.
Correct.
Okay.
So I know, like, if you fly on United Airlines, they're always trying to push their United Airlines credit card. Why is that? Because they know you're on a United plane. They give you a reward if you sign up for the card. They give you 25,000 miles, which is enough to get almost nothing now, but at one point in time it might have been enough for a free ticket. If you go to Fandango, you don't want a United Airlines credit card. If you show up at Fandango's front door, what you want is a movie ticket. Maybe you don't want to pay for it right now, maybe you're going to go straight to the theater and bypass Fandango altogether, but what you want is a movie ticket, and you might be willing to do something else. Maybe you've been planning a purchase of jeans at Gap for 4 months now. What gets you finally out the door and going to shop at Gap, whether online or offline? Well, you want that movie ticket. So we have about 150 million people a day that we reach on transactional sites. So a lot of those are social gaming sites. Many of these are e-commerce sites, so very large e-commerce properties like HP. If you go to buy a printer there, well, you bought a printer, you might want something else. It's being able to target based on data, which is very, very valuable. Because even for Netflix, the best place to reach somebody is when they're buying a DVD player. That's where Netflix wants to advertise. McAfee wants to advertise when somebody's buying a Dell computer. And we actually allow that to happen. Whereas advertising in the New York Times, it works, but I want to read the article. I don't want to click on ads. I'm occupied with reading some article right now. If I'm on a transactional site like Shutterfly and I go spend some money at Shutterfly, my future behavior might be changed if I'm offered something at Sephora. So for post-transactional placements, we give people discounts. And so does Groupon, but we do it after somebody's actually buying something, and we call it the other side pre-transactional. So you go to Zynga, you're like one of the 98% that never pay, but you are willing to buy pizza. You'll pay for something, and what we really do is we know that you want the Zynga currency, we know that you're willing to pay for something else, and we match those two together.
Now, when you say how big is the startup, and how's it going so far?
So we have about 120 people. We're about 5 years old, and it's going really well.
You're almost beyond startup phase at that point.
Well, you know, it's funny. In Silicon Valley, the internet tends, or not just in Silicon Valley, but the internet tends to create winner-take-all markets. So you typically persist in startup phase for a very, very long time in Silicon Valley until you're a 10,000-person company. So it's hard to say that we're a startup when we're 5 years old, but it's easy to say we're a startup when we look at how old the British monarchy is, or other institutions that are much older. Yes, it's all relevant, or relative, rather.
So where do you see this particular business and opportunity evolving in the context of this explosion in smartphone use?
So it's smartphone use is only about half of it. The big opportunity that we see, that a lot of people see, is look at apps. So if you look at the Internet 1.0, the Internet 1.0 or Web 1.0 started killing off the concept of downloading consumer software. So when was the last time you, not to pick on you, but when was the last time you might have downloaded something for your Windows or Mac PC, a software product, versus just accessing a website that effectively is an application? So the website and the web browser, basically, it almost obviated the need for downloading apps on the mobile device just because of the form factor and because of the offline and online access. A lot of these apps have actually taken the place of the web browser, which is very interesting. And along with all of these apps and the explosion in apps, many of which only cost 99 cents, you have this huge problem of monetization. So Apple tends to monetize much better than Google, because Google, they don't have 250 million card numbers on file. There are 250 million consumers that have given their credit card number to Apple. That makes it a lot easier for them to go and pay for an application.
Yep. Tap, tap, buy.
Exactly. Tap, tap, buy, you're done. Google doesn't have that many credit card numbers, although I'm sure they're working very hard to get that. So the monetization problem from the perspective of the app developer is quite large. If I have a 99-cent app that millions of people have downloaded, nobody's paid for it, it's a hard problem to solve, but what if we can get you to go answer a survey from Merck? Would you answer a survey from Merck about your blood pressure to get this application for free? Sure. Would you go buy a movie ticket tonight? Sure. Would you go shop at Starbucks tonight to get this app for free? So there's a lot that we can do both in online to offline commerce. This is fundamentally the same business model that we've been doing for 5 years on the web, but we think that mobile presents a very large opportunity because you still have this problem of content that people want that they don't want to pay for, and AdSense doesn't really work in that context. I don't want to click on ads unless there's something in it for me.
So last question.
Sure.
And this is actually just it. You just articulated it. People are absolutely inundated with information. They've got data swirling around them that's being used to target their interests. How much do services like this solve a problem for someone versus just more smoothly extracting their money from their pockets?
So it really is more about solving a problem for three parties. So consumers, if you look at what we do in the pre-transaction space, where people just aren't paying for digital goods, digital content, services, consumers never want to pay for them. They expect the entire world to be free. Look at what's happened to the music industry in the last 15 years. Merchants, people like whether they're music producers or even app developers, they have problems getting paid because of this first problem. And then there are news sources, like there are new advertisers, like Starbucks wants to have 1 million extra people walk into their stores. And these problems really solve each other. Because if you could get every single application on your phone for free, if you didn't have to pay for anything else, if you could get music for free, if you got your next movie ticket for free, just by slightly changing your behavior, and it's not spam because you're not getting email to do an offer today. You're saying, I want to beat this level of Angry Birds. How do I do it? Oh, I can get it for free if I agree to take this shuttle to the airport? Sure. I was going to go to the airport anyway. I might as well take the super shuttle and not the extra shuttle or whatever it might be. So it's really more about changing behavior in a way that actually benefits the consumer and at the point of need. And I think that's a big thing that many sites, they're all about push marketing. They're emailing people daily. They're SMSing them with deals. Eventually, people get tired of that. Whereas if you can just position these things around the point of need, it makes a big difference.
Okay. Thank you so much for the insight into the present and future of e-commerce.
Thank you very much.